Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to the Dumb Dad Podcast. My name is Kevin, and I'm a dumb dad.
And my name is Evan, and I am also a dumb dad. And on today's episode, Kevin will reveal, well, his kids are training for, went through the gauntlet of American Gladiator and came out on top in the long run.
And Evan's dumb dad moment, it's a real toss-up. Cheers.
Cheers, pal. Today, ladies and gentlemen, parents, boys and girls,
We join you.
dogs and cats of all ages, was our first day of summer. First legitimate, starting at the,
As of this recording.
the starting pistol goes, and it's summer now, today.
I just said to you before we started recording that yesterday was the last day of school. It was Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it felt like Friday because it was the last day at school. There was a lot of buttoning up things. I just felt like an end of week feel. And then today was, well, it felt like Monday. And it really, I've never had that experience before where yesterday was Friday and today was Monday.
What a kick in the nads.
Unless I really party. You know what I'm saying?
Oh boy, watch out. Way past 8:30. Can I give myself an award really quick? Or would you be okay with that?
It was just that you flowed through with way past 8:30. Can I give myself an award? And I was trying to connect them.
You don't have to do it. I'll do that for you.
So you just
No,
want
there's no connection. We're just going to talk about
I
it.
know you just said it so close together.
Yeah.
In the same breath.
Well, something you said triggered my brain into realizing that I made it the whole year without ever being late for early dismissal.
I thought of it last podcast, and I was like, well, don't jinx yourself. So don't say
I know. You're thinking like, I'm just going to let it happen.
I'm going to let him miss the last day of school. Oh.
And on the last podcast, when I was going on and on about the insane time pickup schedule is different every day, it was almost like I was speaking it into existence for myself.
Yeah.
Didn't happen.
Yeah. You did good. Congratulations.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Your son is going into 5th grade.
Going into 5th grade.
So that means you were late for kinder, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd?
Bingo. At least one of the early dismissal pickup days. I was rolling in there well past when I normally show up.
And a couple calls. A couple times there was a call.
With a high.
How many times did
with
you
a
get
high BP?
How many times did you get a phone call that alerted you that you missed early pickup?
One time.
Just the one.
Just the one time in 1st grade when it was my son's teacher who literally called me and I was like laying on the couch.
Okay. Yeah.
Every other time it was like maybe one of the years, maybe 2 of the years, my wife are you going to leave? We share a location on the phone.
Right.
She's checking in, just double checking, which I appreciate. Sees either he's very responsible and is already at the school, but he forgot his phone. He hasn't left yet. I'll just shoot him a quick text. Did you know it's early dismissal? Oh my God. And then just instantaneous sweating and texting the parent that I know I say hi to every day. Like, can you tell my kids I'll be there in 10 minutes? Not late enough to where they had to go to the office, but late enough to where it's like they walk out from the classroom and I'm not standing there.
Yeah. And you're getting that tone of like, sorry. And they did this tone. They go, it's okay.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's not okay.
My daughter, it's like my daughter is 6. She cannot stand being not on time for anything that's supposed to be on time.
Yeah.
Definitely got that from her mom. And that's not to say that I don't care. I was worse about it, and I've gotten better and better over the years because of my wife.
Because of this 1 year?
No, but I'm just saying, but she is definitely at 6 years old, just naturally if it's, how far are we away from our Y? 4 minutes? Well, you're a little further. I'm 4 minutes proper. 5 minutes if you catch the light at the corner, maybe.
Right.
And it's if swim starts at 5:10, 4:45, she's like, we need to leave.
Yeah.
I'm like, baby girl, we don't need to leave. But she's already feeling it. Why aren't we already there just twiddling our thumbs waiting for class to start as opposed to what are we doing sitting here? It's I know, but you're in your swimsuit. I have the goggles and the towels and the swim crap. I'm waiting but we don't need to leave. She's all about that. So all that to say, if I've shown up her class walks out, not maybe because of traffic or something. Her class walks out. She's standing there for 30 seconds. And then I walk up. She's like, where were you? It's well, the gate was still locked. Even if I was standing there, you couldn't have come to me because the bell hadn't rung. So how about you relax?
Knock it off. Get in the car.
I got stuff to do. Okay. And I'm here every day.
That's amazing. It's funny because congratulations, made it a year. You made it a year.
Yeah.
With no missing. It's always early pickup.
Yeah.
Is where you made.
And I will
mistakes.
say really quickly, not in total defense of like, the difference is like, if you are like, oh man, it's early dismissal, you can like sprint to school and probably be there in 60 seconds.
Well, that's my point. That's what I was going to say is like, it's actually interesting to me that it's happened to you and it hasn't happened to me yet because you have to leave earlier. So like and drive. Yeah. So there's like a mental component of like,
it's a 15, 20-minute drive.
You got to think of like with traffic and this and that.
Yeah.
And me, I've got that dangerous thought process of like, it's the same time no matter what. Because like I'm either walking or taking a scooter. It's like, it's the same time no matter what.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't blown it.
Almost because it's like, it'd be easy. It's so
easier,
incredibly convenient.
There's less mental, mental work to like figure it out. It's like,
what's really funny about that now I realize like we've been talking about this like it's like we've been setting this up like it's a constant problem. I've done it like once a year for 3 years in a row. Maybe I did it twice one year.
I think in first grade you did it 2 or 3 times.
But anyway, what I'm saying is like somebody better fact check that before I own that. I don't know if it's that, but I'm just saying like of course, then I lived closer, so that kind of supports the theory of like it's coming for you, man, and you don't even know it. But anyway, okay, back to today's first day of summer, and how did it go for you? I mean, you said it felt like the wrong day. That already, puts a hick in your giddy up. Excuse my French, but did you feel prepared? Were there moments today where you were like, this is going to be a long summer? Did you get to any of that today?
Not a great start, Bob, to the
first day.
No, it was fine. It just didn't go like, and not in a bad way, not in a dumb dad way. Like it just didn't go as planned. So like my wife starts work at 9:30. So she's been kind of giving me like, our plan is like, while she's working, she'll give me the mornings to do my work, to do dumb dad stuff, filming, editing.
Yeah.
And then at 9:30, she's got the kid. I've got the kids. But like, obviously, if I have to finish something up, all right, you kids keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a layover.
They're old enough that they're not toddlers. That it's like
overlap?
They need attention.
I don't know why
it's
I said
overlap.
Layover. That's not what that is.
That's not. They weren't in Detroit for 3 hours.
God, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. I don't know how they got there in the first place, but
well, you don't need to worry about that. You just know you have 3 hours.
Enjoy the connection.
Get a second juice on me.
Yeah.
When they bring that cart around, get a second juice on me.
But I was like filming something, and it was just one of those things where it was like, this is no different than like a project. You know what I mean? I was filming something for Dumb Dads. I might as well have been like, let me, change out like the faucet in the sink. You're giving me from 7 to 9:30, plenty of time.
Yeah.
Now
one of the things benefits your home and family, and the other thing is like,
So in my head, I'm like
a moron with your camera on.
I'm like, I'm going to finish all this stuff, and then we're going to walk out the door, and I'll pack like lunches.
Yeah.
And we're going to go out the door, and we're not going to come back for a while. I don't know when. Maybe it won't be that long. Maybe we'll find out together.
Sure.
It's the first day of summer. It's the first day of summer. And now cut to like, 11, they hadn't been on screens all morning, but they were on screens for longer already than I wanted. And I was like, not a great start to summer. And it was just like, all right, get off the screens for a little bit. Find something.
I will say
find
this really
something
quickly. My wife is pretty good at reminding me as well that like, if when we were kids, how many, TV shows in a row or your shows would you watch in a row at the start of summer because your parents are at work and you're like, just got out of school.
100%.
I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, so what I'm saying is I'm giving you that grace. I still feel the same guilt. I had the same start to my morning, but it's like they also were diligent about school this year and did such a good job. And like day one, it's like 10 o'clock and you're like, all right, guys. But at the same time, they're like, what?
Well, that actually reminds me of something. I'll get to it.
Okay.
About school and summer vacation. And so it's just like one of those things that it ended up like I finished with the video, the editing, the reshoots, all the stuff. I finished my work. I finished my work.
Yeah.
And had posted the video at around 12. Yeah, like 12-ish.
Sure. Yeah.
And it was just like...
It's tedious stuff.
But then I was just like, I guess I'll make everybody lunch. Like I was like, it's one of those things where I was like annoyed that we were having lunch there. You know what I mean?
That you needed to. You couldn't have made it and left, and then because by the time you get somewhere, it's like now another 45 minutes, and they're like, "What? I wanted to eat an hour ago, and what's going on?" And so you had to eat first and then leave. Like,
well, it was also like my wife and my father-in-law also live here, and that'd be weird to be like, "It's lunchtime. I'm just making it for the three of us douches." And like bounce up.
That's not weird.
I think it is if it's around lunchtime. If it was like 11:30,
then you feel like you're responsible to make lunch for everyone involved.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think about that.
Yeah, I do.
Well, I'm a piece
well,
of
one of them's not going to make lunch. One of them's not going to make lunch. I know, it's like
lunch. She will not.
Yeah, my wife is like, oh, I'm sorry. Am I on the clock?
No, I hear you. Yeah, he's not going to make lunch. I understand that.
So,
but still, like, I don't know. I mean, like,
it was fine.
Especially if your goal is to get out of the house. That's what I'm saying. Especially if your goal is to get out of the house. It's very cordial of you. Very demure to ask everyone, hey, you guys want some lunch? I'm going to make lunch. You're all here. But like when your goal was to get out of the house 90 minutes before that.
Yeah. It's also they don't
grab a handful of granola bars and hit the road, Jack.
Well, they also don't have lunch with their grandpa a lot. So it was like.
That's true. After all, in school.
Summer. And again, I don't plan to be here a lot for lunch. So I was like, yeah, we can do lunch here. And then we hit the road, and then it was great. We did a Skyzone. We did a Chuck E. Cheese. That was all fun.
You guys were busy on day one.
Yeah, we've got the summer passes for both of them. So I was like, just make them work. There's well, what's really fun about the Chuck E. Cheese one is like, one might argue it's screens. But what's fun about
Probably more than one.
Yeah, it's multiple. But what's fun about it is the last, like 2 times ago, we went to Chuck E. Cheese. It was just this perfect, like we're headed into a summer break moment. We were still in school, and my daughter's in the prize area, and she's like, I don't know what I want to save up for something, but I don't know what. And then we're just like looking around, and there's just a huge super soaker, and it's like 4,000 tickets, and I was like, let's try to get that before summer's out. So like that's like our goal. But her being a kid,
super soaker
is like. We went today, and then she was like, I think I want to get some in the prize area. I was like, but I thought you want to save for the super soaker. And she's like, I want to get something. And I was like, okay. She walked away. I was like, we're never getting that super soaker.
No, you're not. The idea is like, I thought you wanted to get something. Yeah, that was 10 minutes ago.
There's the thing, though. They did it the first time. The first time they wanted something, they wanted a pizza blanket. That's like a
we get it.
Like a burrito. It's not just a blanket, like you go into it, like a sleeping bag, and it's a slice of pizza.
Into the crust part? And are you stuffing the crust?
You stuff the crust. And that'd be weird if it was just the crust, like horizontal, and then there was just like a flag.
That's what I'm thinking. Or like,
no,
you could, like if you're really cold, you could like really kind of, you could roll yourself into like
pizza roll.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Thanks for listening to the Dumb Dad podcast.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
A pizza blanket.
But it's just funny to teach kids to save, and they don't. And you're like, oh, it's okay. Live your childhood.
My son saved like so much of his allowance and like birthday money and like some whatever, maybe if he got money at Christmas or something like that for like 2 years, and then bought himself a 3D printer.
Yeah.
But we go to the same thing, and he's like, nah.
Yeah.
Give me the finger trap now and later, and parachute guy I'll break in a half an hour.
And you're like, cool. Do you want to throw all of them away now?
I know, exactly. Why don't you just toss them in the garbage on the way out of here?
Because it's a couple of dads.
I know it's the most dad take thing. Here's the thing, though. I feel like the dad take. We're one step above. I feel like the dad take when we were going was like, this is such a waste of all of our money. I recognize, I pay whatever it is, $30 for the 60 minutes unlimited, whatever it is, like scanning the thing, and like, and it's like they're running around laughing, like,
yeah, it's great.
It's great. Do I think they're burning their tickets on something they're going to break in half an hour? Yeah, but that's also for them to discover, and hopefully at some point they'll be like, I keep coming here, and I just don't feel like they're eventually going to be like, I don't want to get anything. I don't like any of the stuff I get from here.
Yeah.
And it's like, great, let's leave. And then that's a while until it's like, hey, let's check how many tickets we have. 5,000. Or, like,
is there anything?
Maybe there's something there to that about saving something in that way.
Is there anything worse, though, when a kid, and this doesn't need to be Chuck E. Cheese, anywhere with tickets that you're coming back to, where a kid's go, I don't really see anything I want. And you're like, all right, let's get out of here, man. We'll save them. It's a great idea. And they go, no, I'm not going to do that.
Because you're taking away their opportunity to get something. That's what they don't. Those are two different things.
But it's so funny that they
it is.
said it out loud. I don't really want anything here. That's fantastic. Let's get out of here.
Great. You're not spending any tickets. Whoa.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
Okay. Wow. When you put it that way, that sucks.
You put it that way, yeah. How much are those like sticky hand things?
Yeah.
Yeah. 20 tickets? Yeah. Give me 6 of those.
Oh, sweet. They're already out of the package and stuck together. Perfect.
Thought a lot about this in the last few days. Thought a lot about it today. Today was like as you know, we're like looking into I'm looking into getting solar. I want to join the solar club on top of the roof, but our roof is old. So you need to do the roof first and then the solar. So it's one step at a time. So we've had the last couple of days have people coming over and giving us quotes, for what they'll do the job for. You got to get your quotes, multiple quotes. Today was like, had one guy showed up at 9, one guy was showing up at 3:30. So it was like,
cool.
What are you guys watching? Also working in between, writing stuff, thinking like, and we're going on our summer trip on Friday. So it was like, oh my God, I have like no time to do this kind of stuff. So today was way more of a lackadaisical start into summer. We did, however, learn a new game. When I felt so guilt-ridden, I did the stupid dad thing where I'm like, it's time to turn them off. And of course, the kids love it when you do that, no matter how long they've been wanting it. If you're just like, pull the plug, turn it off, they're like, wait, why? What did I do?
Only made worse, and I know I've said this on the podcast many times, only made worse when they obey immediately because they've been on it for too long.
I had one of each.
But that's what I mean. When one of them turns it off with the like, oh, thank Christ, somebody's deciding to parent. Oh, my eyes hurt.
Yeah, wow, it stings. If I somehow it feels like I've been cutting onions.
Oh, that's crazy. When I close my eyes, I can still see the characters.
Yeah. So I was about there with it. But I was like, let's just go outside. Can we just go outside together? I really need to work, but I'll give you guys a half an hour. Let's go out. We'll figure something out to do. I'm thinking like, and I'll just kind of like sneakily escape back inside and do some work. And then, so we played this new game our friends gave us. It's called Cube, I think. It's like Kubb. It's a fun like yard game. Anything like you play out like lawn darts, that kind of a thing. It's just a little bag and it's a bunch of wooden pieces. There's a king in the middle and you make like a little court and you have batons that you toss across the court and try to knock over like these little statue things. It's like it's game's like 1,000 years old kind of thing. And it's just like the newer, wooden block version in a bag our friends gave us. And they bought it when they were like in Sweden or something like that and brought it to us. So, but it's been sitting by our back door for like 2.5 months, maybe longer. I'm not sure. But I was like, hey, let's open this and see what this is all about. And then I read all the directions and was like, let's watch a YouTube video to see how you do this because these are not written very well. But we got into that, and actually both of them got into it right away. We played that for like an hour, and then we went inside and I made lunch. And then right when I knew they were about to be like, can we go watch something? I was like, how do you guys feel about walking to 7-Eleven and getting some Slurpees? And then that was just like, the party was reignited.
Yeah.
Couldn't be more excited about that. So we went and did that and then came back and like slipping Slurpees on the way back and went right to the backyard and did like another 2 rounds and we were feeling good. And by that time they were like, can we please go inside? It's so hot outside. When the kids are like, this has been fun, but like, I don't feel so good.
Yeah.
So that's when we came back inside, played a board game for a while. And then I was like, all right, fair trade. You guys can watch something for a while. We got quote number 2 guy coming. So I don't need you guys bothering me. So go wild, watch something again. And then, then it was kind of, so it was a lackadaisical start to the summer, but I was doing the dad thing throughout the day going like, I want you guys to know, like, this is not how it's going to be every day.
Of course, you have to qualify that. Like they're expecting that you've had today you're going to start having patterns. Okay.
Yeah. And my son took it the hardest when I asked them to just, you know what? We couldn't find a board game to play right away. So it's like, you know what? Why don't we just go in our rooms, relax, turn the fan on, cool down? Because we came inside and they're like really hot. So I'm like, just go in a room. You don't know what to play. You don't know what to play. You can't decide to play something together. You go in your room. You go in your room. Pick a book. Read for a half an hour. Man, that was like I asked him to like pull every blade of grass out of the lawn. I
had the similar response from my son. Yeah, I asked him to clean the coffee table. The both of them.
2 people cleaning a 2.5 by 3.5 foot space.
Because I just told them, hey guys, on summer break, obviously we're going to be home a lot, and we're going to be doing a little bit of cleaning every day. And we're just going to take care of our areas. You guys always use the coffee table. It's a disaster right now.
They're already pissed off at this point.
And my son laid down on the ground. like I was like, we got to go out back and we got to lift some stones. We've got to lift a bunch of boulders.
Got to throw them over the fence. You got to hold up with your shoulder over that fence.
And we got to do 45 of them each. Let's just get to work.
You're not done. You're not any closer to being done until you lift the first one. So let's get going.
Just collapsed to the ground and then did that thing. And I love like, even if it pisses me off, because sometimes if like I'm in the wrong mood, it'll piss me off, you know?
Yeah, well, yeah, because you know you're
even when it pisses me off, the visual is still funny of like him laying on the ground on his back, and where he puts his like heels right next to his butt and then pushes to like slide his body.
Oh yeah,
and then like heels
so
up.
Mad
and
and upset. Like, I'm just like making a physical reaction.
Slide out of the room like an
inchworm.
Yeah, like an inchworm, and it just like slides out of the room. It's so annoying and funny at the same time. Where you're just like, you've been on screens. Okay,
you've been on screens a lot, which is fine.
And I understand that's part.
There are days.
That's part of the.
And this was a day, and that's fine. You just got out of school. You're in full celebration mode. I'm literally asking you to spend 5 minutes on something.
Yeah. And then before I came in this room to record the podcast, I was leaving, and they had the coffee table. They did clean it. They got it completely cleared, and everything was put away. When I was about to come in here to record this podcast, worse. It was worse than.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be a constant. Yeah, you're a salmon swimming upstream.
I was just like,
cleaning your house in the summer.
Start the day cleaning? That sucks.
They're never going to want to do it.
I don't know how they're going to do it at the end of the night. They're worse.
You make a game out of it, right? I bet. And before we have breakfast, I bet I can pick up more things and put them away than you can in 2 minutes.
I know.
Go and then start doing it, and then
You wonder how long until the kid goes. You probably can.
Yeah. Well, that's. And you try something else. I'm just saying. Like,
here's the thing. Once they take the game out of it, then you go, great.
Yeah.
Now you clean up. We're going to have fun with it.
You're so good at it. You're so much better at it than we are.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the dumb dad moment.
Let's jump into them.
My dumb dad moment is brought to you by cockiness. Okay. Straight up cockiness. Okay. Quick little backstory. I used to work in as a tech with like a couple of my friends, my brother, and all this stuff. And we would make everything from parts for airplanes to the crates we needed to ship them in. We kind of took care of the whole process of I used to work in the aerospace industry. I was like a technician, building parts. And, there's cardboard boxes all over the place. We have scissors and razor blades in our pockets from cutting material. That's just kind of, it's like the tools we used all the time. You guys
just wouldn't use box cutters? You just have loose razor blades in your pocket? I'm lucky to be alive.
Well, lucky for me that you actually remember the term when I just floated by it and said the closest thing to my brain could think of.
Razor blades in our pocket.
It is a razor blade. It's sheathed.
Yeah.
I didn't reference it as such.
Just a wild image.
I know. It got me again.
Yeah, let somebody grab my keys. There's a razor blade pocket.
Again. Just like cotton balls on every finger. Anyway, so there was a time where I was like, I didn't even realize this, and I this is like a rent-free moment, that like someone says something to you out of context, no additional meaning other than a sentence to you, and it's like I heard it 5 seconds ago, and like I walked by a box, a big cardboard box that was probably meant to go out to the recycling or whatever. Yeah. And I just took the scissors out of my pocket and like stabbed a hole in the box and like put them back in my pocket. And my brother was like, "You've been in like a real stabby mode lately." And like instantaneously I was like, "Oh yeah, if I see a box, like I'll do that." Well, that's weird. And so I decided.
You still do that to this day?
No. Oh, I decided on that day, I was like, I should do something different than that. And so that's when I started flipping stuff. And if I'm holding like a remote or some keys or a flashlight or tongs by the barbecue or something, I'll like flip it as like a fidget habit.
Yeah.
Okay. So present day, I still do it a lot. My son, I will do it so much that I don't even know I'm doing it. Or my son is like, "Dad," and I'll be like, "What?" He's like, "You just flipped a glass." Like I'll get a drinking glass and like flip it in my hand and go fill it with water.
Yeah.
But I do it in front of him. Not great, because now he's thinking like, "Oh, that'd be cool. We're gonna get there's gonna be broken glass all over the place." It's like, anyway. So the other night we come in, we're like using the Traeger, and I'm like bringing the stuff inside, and I have all the seasonings in my hands, and I'm flipping them on the way in, and my wife notices, and then she tries to do it, and then I try to do it, and then I have 2 in my hand, and I flip both of them and catch them in both hands, like 2 at once, and then she's like, "Oh, hot shot," and then making fun of me, and then I decide, watch this, and I'm gonna flip them and catch the right throw with my left hand, like crisscross.
Yeah.
And they hit in midair and fall, and the cap breaks, and there's just seasoning everywhere.
Oh, good. Good.
It was like, man, you're not allowed to show off. The people that show off get in trouble, and I don't know, but the people that don't show off and don't get in trouble, they get paid millions of dollars because they're professional athletes. There's a fine line.
Yeah.
I'm on the below side of that line by quite a margin. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you show off and you never miss a beat, you're probably in Major League Baseball.
You are a professional, so it's not showing off.
It's like, these are my abilities.
This is your ability.
No matter who's watching. Yeah, put the cameras on. Do whatever you want. I'm good at this. She gets her phone camera out, and I was like, whoa! And then you got to go get the vacuum and put the seasoning that was still in the bottle in a little plastic bag, because it's just like, what are we doing now?
On the shelf. And
Yeah, you saw the little Ziploc. You're like, why does that exist?
Yeah.
And then my wife got all giddy because she's like, why don't you tell him, Ev, what'd you do? What happened last night after dinner when you had to go get the vacuum?
It's tough, too, because that could clog the filter,
It
Speaking
could.
from one dad to another. You should use a broom for those jobs, guys. Come on.
Oh, my God.
You
2
gotta
dumb
be
dad moms
careful.
didn't even realize it.
Yeah. You'll be washing that. Next time you rinse out your filter, it's going to smell. It's going to be like, oh, that's
Next time you rinse out the filter.
citrus and garlic. You don't rinse out your filter?
No, I do. I just wanted to peg you. It was like a Danny Tanner moment. Like they cut to this, like the cut scene from the commercial, and he's like wiping down his cleaning supplies. That was always my favorite thing they would have him do. That's a great little joke.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I'll never rinse down the AC filter. That's insane.
That's something to be disposed of and not messed with.
Yeah, it is.
Worse than the dryer lint sheet, like the pull out of the dryer after 3 loads. And you're like, whoa, I forgot about that. That is fleece.
The most I felt like oh yeah, there is sometimes where you pull that thing and it's like,
whoa, you got to do this every time.
There's like that window of like, it feels good, where you're like, nice, got a good little thing here, and there's another going, we were 1 or 2 dryers away from a fire.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you just do it every time, and
Yeah.
there's just no excuse. You just have to do it.
The one time I really felt like I dadded it to like a stranger. Well, like, was because my AC broke. It just was like, whatever the reason, and he had to replace just one small part, and I was like, man, I said something to him. I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, I've only had this AC like 2 years. Like, it's a pretty common part to break, but I was like, but for 2 years for this thing to go, that's pretty nuts. And he's like, yeah, I mean, usually doesn't. Usually like 3 to 4 years these things last, but like, it does happen. And I was like, okay, yeah, no, I mean, it was under warranty, so it wasn't a big deal. Yeah. I was just making conversation, and he goes,
well, you had to make the phone call.
And he goes, as long as you're, staying on top of all the other stuff. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, like, you're changing your filter for your AC in your house. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, I was so funny. The tone that he gave me was more of a dad than I followed up with him.
Yeah.
But he goes, I don't need to come inside and check, right?
I'm done cleaning my room. You're done.
What I could have just said
was,
I
saw your room, and then
Yeah.
I left and said clean it, and then 4 minutes later you were like, I've completely finished cleaning my room. You're like, really?
Well, here's the thing.
Really?
I could have left it alone.
Yeah.
I could have been like, there's a good chance I'll never see this man for the rest of my life. I can just end it here and go, no, you don't have to see it. And that's it.
Yeah.
But instead I said, no, man. They say 4 months. I change them every 2.
Oh, God. And a statement that you think is going to land you in his confidence of you as a person.
It actually did.
As it's
He
really.
Did. He was like,
let's see, because that's
he
coming out of
He
your
goes,
mouth.
that's great, man. He goes, honestly, that's great to hear, because the more often the better. And I was like, yeah. You want to hang out sometime?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I felt like I'd feel cooler than I do right now, especially after saying that out loud to you with that much confidence.
Yeah. It's like that line from the Office when Steve Carell says to John Krasinski, he goes, "I catch the game last night," and he's like, "Which one?" "Yeah, any of them." Doesn't know how to talk to somebody.
Any of them, I don't know.
All right. Well, my dumb dad moment is brought to you by if you have fun with your kids, and this involves the Skyzone. You know, the trampoline park.
Place that you will be returning to because you have seasons pass. Yeah. Okay.
Listen, it's going to be great. It's already great. It's going to be great when it's like 115 in the valley. It's going to be great on those days.
I've already been strategically thinking about like, how do we get out of the house in the morning so we can be back in the house in the middle of the day?
Yeah.
Or
go there.
How do we get, go
to a spot like that?
You got to do something in the middle of the day. It's so bad.
So we went there. It is funny. We have been going a lot. We got the pass, and it's a summer pass, still like mid-September, and we've already been going a lot. Then I'm like, the kids keep asking, and I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Like, let's go there and get some energy out. Blah blah blah. But part of me is like, pump the brakes, guys. Like, I don't want you to be sick of this thing by mid-July when I need it. That's all I'm saying.
Because, let me say this as nicely as I can, we will be coming here.
Oh.
I will be dragging you here.
I will be holding your arm out saying to the employee, put the bracelet on him.
Yes, we have our socks.
Stop bending your elbow. Straighten your arm. Straighten your arm. Yeah, put on those socks. I love listening to other parents yell at their kids.
You will hop around.
In a public place. It's always fun because we've all been in some form there, and it's fun to see somebody else do it. Anyway, so we're at Skyzone, and the rule there is, not that I wouldn't anyway, but the rule is 6 and under need to be accompanied by an adult. So my daughter is off trying front flips, and I'm just following my son around. And it's very funny because the first 1 or 2 times you go there, you're just captivated. And then after that, you're on your phone.
Continuing to shorten your attention span.
You've seen the obstacle course once, you've seen it a dozen times. I mean, it's funny because he'll do the obstacle course.
You almost made it.
Well, I try not. I don't go on social media because I do want to keep eyes on them. But I'll go on I'll do like a word scramble game or something, and it's just funny because I'm like, oh, okay, town, nice, 1. Oh yeah, sure. And I just like push him a little bit because he can't quite reach like that.
Yeah.
Just like such a parent on their phone moment. I'm just like, yeah, I got you, bud. So there's a zip line there.
Yeah. American Ninja Warrior. Yeah. Next stop. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. You did do it. You did it. So there's a zip line there, and that's a real popular item.
Man, how many times do you go down it every time you're there?
Well, I'm not allowed to, but I would. I'm
not allowed to.
What is it? I think you should leave. I think you should leave that zip line all day.
I was trying to do 360s.
I've thought about it, and then I think I saw an adult about my size do it, and I was like, okay, don't do that.
Oh yeah, no. You doing it.
That thing is screaming.
Versus what you look like doing it.
That wire is like, we're not bridge cables.
Yeah.
Learned an important lesson that day. I said, thank you, stranger, for your service in doing that. You've answered a question.
It's a nylon rope.
Yeah. So it's good to know.
If you go on a zip line and 20 feet before the end, you're on your feet and you kind of just send it on with your hands, you don't need to be on it.
Yeah, it's got to stop at the end. So the thing zip lines and then it hits a stop, which will throw you.
But I mean, if you stop,
if your knees are hitting the foam squares, wave halfway, get out of there, man. Get out of there.
Get out of there and come back with a mustache.
Yeah. So anyway, we're waiting in the line for the zip line. A couple kids go, and then it's my son's turn. So we reel the thing back in. He can't reach it, so I scoop him up, stand up on the ledge, put his hands on there, and I'm like, all right, bye. And I let go, and he just and falls. Great. And then I have to step down.
Yeah.
And Scoop has kids, excuse me. And then I see him, and he's just like, he's still in the foam pit, which usually by the time it takes me to like get down and then meet him there, he's out of there, on to something else. He's still in there. And I'm just like, bud, you got to get out. There's like people waiting to go, and they're all just watching him. And it's fine. The kid, nobody's getting mad. It hasn't been that long. And he's just like, he just comes out and he just starts crying. And then this like girl emerges underneath him.
Oh.
And I was like, and she's fine. And she's like probably my daughter's age, so she's older. And he's like crying. And I look up, and what happened was the girl who went before us went on the zip line, went down, and in the time it took him to, because you got to let them do their little journeys, like pull the thing back himself.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have finished a book. And then I picked him up and scooped. I didn't look 100%.
Well, yeah, you're looking at your phone.
6-year-old. I wasn't there. I don't on the zip line because I need both hands. And then I push him down, and he just goes, I just didn't look to see if it was clear. Yeah. So she was still there, and he just right on her. So he cried, and I was like, you okay? And then I can see that her brother
was underneath her.
and underneath him. We don't know who this kid was, but he had a beard.
You've been there a while.
Yeah. He had a beard and a lantern. And no, so the kid is like, he's on like the upper ledge.
His facet exposure.
Looking down. He's like around my son's age. He is berating my son. Like
really?
Before I get over there. And I get it.
He's protecting his sister.
I get it.
You.
I come over and I just see him saying something. I can't hear.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm just like, what's that kid saying? And I was, buddy, come on out. And then he starts crying. And then the girl emerges. So I was like, 2 and 2 together. I was like, he was like screaming at him and my poor son is just like, I mean, shaking, hyperventilating, crying. I was like, are you hurt? He's like, no, I just don't ever want to hurt anybody. And he's like crying. So I was like, well, let's go sort it out. And he just like didn't want to move. And I was like, that's fine. So I just went over to her. I was like, hey, I'm so sorry. And she's like now embarrassed. She like laughed. She goes, it's fine.
A parent's talking to her now.
And then
man.
she left.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah. And then she just like giggles and walks away.
Yeah.
And I went back. I was like, buddy, she just laughed at me. She's fine. And he's like upset. And then
you turn to your brother and you're like, if you ever talk to my son like that again.
Well, I'll get to it. Here was the funny part where it like all kind of came full circle, which I really enjoyed. Was that kid was like, it's fine. You don't need to scream at another 6-year-old, but it's fine. Like, I see why you did it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything. And so then my son just like, he can't turn it around. You know when kids get stuck? So he's like stuck in this feeling, can't turn it around. And then he's like walking around, not doing anything now. And I'm just following him. And then he sees the girl and she's talking to her mom. And then he just goes and hides behind a couch. And I was like, oh, man. Because then you're wondering, is she talking to the mom being like, that's the kid who fell on me? Yeah. Is she upset? So I went over.
No, he's like hiding, like, hope they don't catch me.
Yeah. So I went over, and it was good because they were where he was hiding, and I walked towards the mom and the kid. My back was to my son, so he could see them. And he was like really far away, just behind a couch.
Yeah.
Looking over. And I went over and I went, hey, are you sure you're okay? And she's like, I'm totally fine. And then she did the thing that like kids do. She goes, it's fine. I'm sorry. It's totally my fault. And I was like, definitely wasn't.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm pretty sure I sent my son down there while you were still in there. So it's fine.
If they were to like look at the cameras.
I'm sure her argument
I'm
thinking her argument was I was hanging out in there. Is why she was saying that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe she's like trying to make her brother laugh or something.
Yeah. And I was like, no, I'm so sorry. I was like, it's my fault. And she's like, it's really fine. Then she like giggled and walked away again because she's like, what's happening?
Yeah, this guy won't leave me alone.
And then I saw the mom and I went, I'm so sorry. She was like, it's all good. I was like, cool. And I think my son's seeing that chilled him out. So then he's going to play. He's playing again. He was like turned it right around. I think he saw both of them laugh and walk away. And he was like, okay, she is fine. I didn't hurt her. I feel better. Everyone's fine. And then he starts playing and jumping. And then full circle, my daughter is playing like a very like a American Gladiator thing. It's like a beam, and you get like padded like a bow, or it's like it's blown up. It's just like, and you just knock somebody off.
Yeah.
So she's just playing with random kids, and that little boy who yelled at my son is there, and my son walks up and starts talking to him, and I was like, oh, that's cute. And then I see the kid push my son into the foam pit. But he does it with like a smile on his face. And my son looks at him, but also with like an angry smile. Like, I just want to do this, you know? And my son looks at me like with like a like smile. Yeah. And I just went back to him to be like, not to show any sign of like, that kid wants to fight you.
Yeah.
You know? I just went, how about that, huh? That's silly. And he was like,
interesting choice.
And my son, like, then that gave my son permission to be like, I think we're friends. And I was like, we're not, but it's okay. That's what I want you to walk away with from this. Then full circle, that kid gets up and he grabs the foam thing and he gets on the beam with my daughter. And he comes at her pretty hard and she laid him out. I was just like, that's a pretty good day. It's a pretty good day. It's a good day of siblings looking out for each other. You know,
all around,
all around,
full circle, all parties, just looking out for the.
Let's take care of business. Let's go. So that was pretty great. Hope I don't see them again at the trampoline park.
You were there on day one.
I was there on day one.
They were there on day one.
Mm-hmm.
They have passes, Kevin.
Well, it wasn't. I guess. I mean, you could get passes earlier than that. It wasn't our day one, but it was day one of summer break. Yeah,
day one of summer break. They were there, and you were there on day one of summer break. They have passes.
Hopefully, my daughter made an impression. That's all I want. That's all I want. I think that's a good place to leave it. I think
that's a pretty good spot.
If you guys have a dumb parent moment where you let things get out of hand, you guys let us know. Email us, dumbdadpod@gmail.com. Or you can DM us on Instagram. We are at the Dumb Dads. That is also our handle on all platforms. Give us a follow. Follow us on YouTube to watch this podcast and subscribe and rate and review this podcast. If you haven't already, thank you. If you already have, thanks to Verdú on SoundCloud for the music of this podcast, and to my lovely wife Annie for editing this podcast. Let's do a joke. Although
you're over jokes?
I don't remember exactly how it goes, but I heard one at the talent show. My kids just had their talent show for like the second last day of school. One of the kids went up and told just dad jokes.
As their talent show?
Yeah, their talent shows. They just went up and just rifled off jokes. Why was the starfish embarrassed?
Why was the starfish embarrassed?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Because it saw the ocean's bottom. Doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, I don't know. Body shaming the ocean? Is that what we're doing? Beautiful body of work.
I'm glad you weren't at the talent show, because if this was your reaction, been awful. That poor kid worked up the courage, and this is what you give.
Worked up the
courage.
Yeah.
Spent hours writing that joke. Spending hours.
Memorizing the joke. Saying it with a straight face. Because it's funny.
I'll wait for you to get it.
Comedians don't laugh at their jokes. Don't laugh at your jokes. Just say it.
Double meaning.
You're offering them information. If they laugh, that's what they can do.
Okay. Bye. Welcome to the world, little one. Welcome to life.
How do I stop this?